welcome to another episode. So today we're going to be talking about boys, relationships, all things love drama. I've been having a very good morning. I recently joined this club and now I get to go to elementary schools and help take photos for this club, and this club is so cool. They bring oral health awareness to children. I just think that's so cute. All the kids this morning were so adorable. Once I got into that room, they were doing this cute little introduction good morning little ritual, and what the kids do is they'll be like a chicken, so they'll flap their wings and then they go to a person and they say good morning, and then that person says good morning. And so the first kid, he did his little chicken walk and he went to me, guys. I was the first person he did it to, and it was just so cute. They were all in kindergarten, so they were so tiny. It was so fun, honestly life-changing. And it was crazy to see how kindergarten looks like in the viewpoint of an adult, because I don't remember being in kindergarten and the classes being that freaking hectic and crazy. Anyways, a really great way to start my day. I feel so good. I feel like I have a new sense of purpose, a new sense of direction. As I'm starting to discover myself a lot more, I'm realizing I love people. I love talking, community. I just love all things bringing people together or just helping the community. And so, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this love, but hopefully I can figure it out. This entire podcast is gonna be like a Q&A little thing. So you know how at the end I usually do like a little Q&A? Well, today's video is gonna be... Did I just say today's video? Guys, that was the YouTuber in me coming out. But today's podcast is going to be a full Q&A. So I told you guys to ask me questions on the Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on there, my username is @SandyDianaBang. That's my username for all my platforms. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys can contribute to these little Q&A sessions. So go ahead and follow me there if you haven't already. If you guys want to give me a rate, you guys can do that too. No pressure though. And of course, you guys can ask me questions in the little question box, whether that's on Spotify or in the description below for my YouTube. But please ask me questions. I love it when you guys contribute. I love it when you guys give me your guys' real and authentic questions. It just feels like such a community every time you guys do, and I get really happy. And recently I've been getting such sweet reviews from you guys. It has just given me such a sense of purpose. I love it. I feel so happy and fulfilled these days. So I'm gonna be answering a lot of your guys' questions. They're in no particular order, I'm just gonna throw in all the questions in random ass orders. And of course, mind you guys, I'm only 22, almost 23, and I feel like my relationship advice is gonna be very limited because I'm quite young and I don't have hella dating experience, if that makes sense. I'm still 22, and so just take everything I say with a grain of salt and remember that everything is based off of me, my experience, and what I know at this current moment. But I am very aware that if I was in my 30s or 40s, I would give better relationship advice because you're older, wiser, but hopefully I can still give some sort of decent relationship advice given my age and experience. But like a lot of us, I'm really young still and I'm still figuring out everything myself. I'm not perfect in relationships. I don't think any 22-year-old would be perfect quite yet, because I know I still have a lot of growing to do and a lot of learning to do. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt. Okay, let's get into it. The first question somebody asked is what my ideal type of man is, or my ideal type of partner. I would say that my number one thing is somebody that is very ambitious, goal-driven, determined, very disciplined. I love all of those really nice and productive characteristics. I definitely do not like a very cocky man though. I just like a very confident man, somebody secure in a lot of their capabilities, a lot of their skills, things they're good at. I love me a confident man. But yeah, I like a very ambitious person. That's the best thing ever. I love that characteristic, and it's probably because that's something I like in myself too. I like being very goal driven, and so to have a partner like that, I just feel hello, power couple, amazing. But it's interesting because this is something that I recently learned that I like, because for a long time I used to be oh, whatever my partner does in career, whatever, doesn't matter to me because I just want somebody to love me. But I'm realizing now, no, your partner's character is a huge reflection of you. The way they act shows you a lot about yourself, honestly. And so if you have a partner that is lazy, but they love you, but they're lazy, then that kind of just will rub off on you. And so yes, you'll love your partner, but will you be productive? Most likely not as productive as you could be. And I don't know, if you guys are cool with that, that's fine. But for me, I love productivity. I do like being very proactive when it comes to chasing my dreams, and so that's why for me, I need somebody very on their feet and quick and smart, just chasing their dreams, because I know that because they're like that, it's gonna rub off on me. So I would say my ideal man is extremely driven. But other things I like, I'm a big words of affirmation girly because, you know, I'm a talker. I also love acts of services. Like if my Stanley is empty and you go refill it without me asking, that is just amazing. Okay, I will be on my knees for you type vibes. But I also just love a very considerate and caring person. Anyways, I would say those are like a few of my very broad but very important characteristics in a partner. Second question is tips for a long-term relationship. Low-key, this is like my area because my first relationship was like 4 years, second relationship was like almost 3 years. Like that shit was long as fuck. One tip I have for a long-term relationship is to never get lazy, especially when it comes to doing like dates, acts of services, giving your words of affirmation. Like if you love someone, you should always show your love for them. That's just something I think it's very important. So like I like to make food for my partner. I'm big on having very deep and intellectual conversations with my partner. Like I don't like that half-ass, you know, how's it going type of conversations. Like I'm very committed to having good conversations with my partner. And so I feel like when you're constantly having very deep conversations all the time and you guys are always just learning more and more about each other, I just think that that keeps a relationship alive. To be surface level, I feel like that dies out. Another tip I have for a long-term relationship is to always be very independent. It's not good to be codependent on your partner, meaning you spend every single moment with them, you rely on them for emotional support, you don't spend any time alone. When you're with your partner all of the time, your sense of independence or the sense of you being your own individual, it can deteriorate if you're with them every single day. Like when you're having a hard day but you're with your partner, you tell your partner, but because you do that, it loses a sense of you being able to rely on yourself, and over time that could be really draining on your mental health. So I always say love yourself first before you love other people, or at least just really take time to care for yourself while you're in a relationship, meaning take some time away from your partner, do some self-care without your partner, have your own hobbies where you don't have to do it with your partner, do things without your partner, and then you can contribute your partner to your life. I always say this in my own personal life, but my partner, they are only an addition to my life. They don't make my life whole, but they do add to my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I'm already a full pie, but they're just coming in, adding a little whipped cream. They just make life a little better, but I don't need them, you know? You're an addition. But this definitely goes both ways, so you're also an addition to your partner's life. Never try to hover, never try to change how they live, how they act. It's just super important to be your own person in a relationship and also respect that for your partner too. My third most important tip for when it comes to having a long-term relationship is that I think that you have to have similar foundations, because if you don't have like rooted similar morals or foundations, over time, like those things actually do create like a drift between you two if they're not the same. For example, here's this couple, right? One partner's super driven, wants to succeed in life, be the best they can be, super ambitious, but then you have the other partner that is totally okay with having an average life, a typical life. They don't care to excel in anything. They're okay with just having a comfortable life, you know? They don't feel the need to push themselves, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want, if that's what makes you happy. But when a couple is like that, I feel like one day it could cause a drift between the two, because you know, one partner is pressuring the other person like, hey, you're not really doing much. You want to try to chase your dreams. You want to try to do this. But then the other partner that isn't really trying is probably like, hey, I don't feel the need to do that. What's the point? I'm already happy. And so one day, you know, that could just be a whole mess. And so that's why I say having the same foundation, same rooted ideals, and same goals is very important. How to have a really interesting conversation with men. There's two ways we can go about this. If you're just interested, you just want to mess around, stroke their ego, obviously, and then they would catch the bait. But if you want to create a real connection, form a real authentic bond between you two, I would say that you should actually ask them questions about, you know, what they do, hobbies, or interests. Genuinely ask questions where you can get to know them. You'll be surprised, a lot of people are actually really scared to talk to people that they like. And so if you want to talk to them, you just have to actually talk to them and ask them questions about them. I like asking questions about what they do, what their dreams are, what they like, hobbies, what makes them happy, questions like that. And the right person that is for you is gonna really respond well to your questions and be like, hey, okay. Ask questions you want to be asked, and if they're into you or if they're the right person, low-key your questions are gonna be the right questions, because you know what's an interesting conversation depends on the person, right? If you're into like anime or movies, K-dramas, ask about that stuff. But for me, like I love talking about my hopes and dreams, and so if that person is the right person for you, they're gonna like that conversation and they're gonna find it interesting too, and so they're gonna also and they're gonna also ask you questions, and it could be this nice back and forth. For me, I don't like spending any time talking to people that don't seem interesting to me. Like if it's romantically, like if you're already kind of boring, no thank you. If you don't want to talk about your future dreams, your goals, then I don't want to hear it. You know, that's not interesting to me. So yes, this is how you have an interesting conversation with a guy, but of course at the end of the day, make sure you're having fun. That's the most important thing. I'd rather choose my happiness over another guy's happiness, you know? But hey, if we're on the same wavelength, same vibration, then bet we can continue having this conversation. This next question is, how do I be confident in front of a person that I like? I'm gonna be very honest, and this is gonna be very catered to me and my experience, but I'm a very confident person in general. I love me. I'm very secure in me. I think I'm hot shit. Even if I'm not the hottest person in the room, I think I'm so sexy, you know? So when I walk into a room, I have that self-love that really just makes me already feel like a bad bitch. So whenever I like people, like I'm pretty confident. Y'all should have seen the last time I rizzed somebody. If you guys know Gym Crush, like on YouTube, I met him at a rave and I totally rizzed him. It was so fun. Anyways, he ended up being my boyfriend, and if he's my boyfriend or not right now, I guess you'll never know. Yeah, I totally rizzed him. It was so funny, and I just had all the confidence in the world, y'all. I don't know what the hell happened. I just went up to him and I was like, hey, can I give you a bracelet? Because you know at raves, you guys trade like candy bracelets, right? I was pretty confident. I didn't care. By the end of the night, like we were totally rave based, and it was such a fun experience. But I'd say if you want to have confidence in front of people you like, it's very important to be very secure in yourself. So make sure that you're finding time to love yourself, take care of yourself, learn to appreciate everything that you come with, because there's beauty in you. And when you can see that, trust me, you will no longer have fear, and the person you like is gonna like your confidence too, because how you see yourself is always how your partner sees you. This next question is, how do I move on from a breakup? I would say that the best way to heal and move on is to surrender yourself to all the emotions that you feel. If you're sad, mad, angry, you feel kind of lost, you feel confused, literally every possible emotion you have, let it all exist and feel it all out. The more you feel it out, the less it drags out into your other parts of your life. Like if you're sad, it's okay to be sad. There's nothing wrong with that. Something I've learned is that if you go through a breakup and you end up just being like, no, I'm a bad bitch, I'm not scared, I'm not sad, blah blah, your ego is like on X Games mode, you know? But because your ego is so high, like you push aside a lot of the extra emotions you have, like being sad, you know? And so those just all build inside you, and one day it just catches up to you. And so feel it all out. The sooner you feel it out, the quicker I noticed that you can heal and move on. But besides surrendering to all of your emotions, I would say that it's also very important to remember that time really does heal all, and it's all a process, and however you feel in that moment is totally valid. It's totally fine, because how you feel in that moment, sometimes it could change, and in 3 months you will not feel the way you feel currently. And so also just be very confident in the process that everything is meant to happen, everything is happening the way it should, and even though it doesn't make sense right now, know that it will make sense one day. And also the train just went past, which is why there's that weird noise in the background. Anyways, I live right next to train tracks, which is super annoying. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next question, which is, how do I deal with anxiety in relationships? I actually used to have the worst anxiety in relationships. Like I had relationship anxiety. I used to question myself a lot. Thinking about it now, I realize a lot of my anxiety just stems from not feeling secure. If you have a partner that understands your love language, they know what you like, they know how to make you happy, they know how to comfort you, and they continuously do that, I think that is so healing. When you have a partner that really truly cares about you and they know how to make you happy, you no longer feel the need to question your position. So all the anxiety you feel, in my opinion, it goes away. Like I used to have the worst anxiety because I didn't trust my partner. I didn't trust that they cared about me. I didn't trust that they loved me. I didn't trust that they had me in their best interest. Like there was a lot of emotions, and honestly they all were right. You know, your intuition knows, because when you love someone and your person loves you, you will know. You will feel so damn secure. And if you and your partner are compatible, they'll know how to comfort you, they'll know your love language, they'll know how to give you the right words, the right physical touch, the right acts of service. They'll know how to make you feel secure in your relationship. So if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety, you probably need a little bit more from your partner. But this is just from personal experience. But if you feel like you're needing more from your partner, that also could be a reflection that you need to give more to yourself. It's kind of like one of those things where whatever you're upset about, a lot of times, yes, your partner's not giving it to you, but you're also not giving that to yourself. Like they say, when you're in a relationship with somebody that is super disrespectful to you, they're like, yeah, your partner's rude to you, but you're also rude to yourself. And that's why you guys are bouncing off each other. You guys are compatible. And it's like, how is my partner being rude to me, disrespectful to me? Like, how is that my fault? But if you think about it, when your partner is rude to you and you still continue to be in their life, still love them, still allow them to treat you that way, that's you disrespecting yourself. So yes, it is a reflection of you, because the more they disrespect you, that's the more you're disrespecting yourself. A lot of our concerns are a big reflection of things going on in ourself internally too. So it's a lot of things that you could look at. This is going to be the last question I answer, just because I don't want today's episode to be too long. But this question is, my boyfriend asked for a break. He said he still loves me and he just needs time to work on himself. Honestly, kudos to your boyfriend for knowing that he needs a break and that he needs to work on himself. I'm glad that he voiced it, because that's the right, proper thing to do. And it's also fair to you to be like, I need a break. If your partner needs a break and there's a genuine trust between you two, I say give him the break. Give him his space so he can work on himself. I'm a big believer of space. I think that a relationship should always incorporate it. And the reason he feels the need to have a break this hard and this solidified is probably because you guys didn't give each other enough space. Obviously, I don't know all the details, so that kind of sucks, because I wish I did. If a break is kind of hard on you, I would say if you guys do get back together, right, which I'm assuming you guys will, because it's a break, but if you guys do get back together, I would say try to incorporate days where you guys take time for yourself. Don't see your partner all the time and really limit it. Like if you guys see each other more than half of the week, try to limit that to only 2 or 3 days of a week, you know? Do it less, the weekends or something, because if you see your partner too much, it can be a lot and it could be very overwhelming, especially as a person that is independent. That's a lot on your own personal development, in my opinion, like your own individuality. I can never say the word individuality. There we go, I got it. But personally for me, like I don't typically do breaks where it's like, oh, like we're not together but we'll get back together type vibes. I've learned that it's just very difficult, because when you know that that person is still yours but you're just on a break, I feel like that doesn't really give you the full healing effect. It could be really hard. So this is just my experience. Like I'm glad you guys are taking a break and I really hope that it does help you guys. But for my personal experience, just having a little break is really hard, because you're still always thinking about that person. You still, in the back of your head, you're like, that's my boyfriend, you know, or that's my girlfriend. So in my personal opinion, like if you need a break, I say just break up. Which is terrible advice, but breaks don't really work for me. They're super hard on me, and so I'd rather just be like, you know what, either we stay together and work this shit out and try to create a time schedule that works better for ourselves and our mental health, or break up. Because clearly we have tried and I'm getting to the point where I feel the need to separate from you physically for a long time. And so I've experienced either or, where it's like no breaks, we're gonna work this out, and over time it just didn't work out. But that's just that relationship, and it could totally work for you if you guys are both very proactive in bettering the relationship and bettering your guys' self as individuals. But if the staying together doesn't work, I say break up and don't expect to get back together, because I believe that people that are meant to be together will be together. That's just how I believe it. And I believe in divine timing. I believe in the universe working for you. And if that person is meant for you, you guys are gonna break up, do your own work as individuals, and get back together stronger. I've totally experienced that, and it's definitely life-changing, because in that time where you guys break up, you don't think you're gonna get back together. And because of that, you can full-heartedly take that time to invest in yourself. Think about only you. No longer have to cater to a person. And when you have that self-love and you care for yourself again, you find yourself again, you are independent again, and you've grown, then you can get back with your partner when you feel ready, if you're both ready, because you guys have took that time to heal as yourselves, as your own people. Getting back together after taking all of that time to heal yourself is so productive for the relationship. It helps so much. But that's just my experience, and that's just something that has really helped me as a person. So yeah, that's just my take on this question. Anyways guys, that is it for this quick little relationship Q&A. I'm definitely gonna do more of these. I just didn't want today's episode to be too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. Of course, I love it when you guys ask me questions. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next episode.